So by now you should be seeing this, that we're good, right? Miss Aishat, we good? You still having crash? Eh? Still having crash? So that's about that then. Now, after we have done that, so the require function is used to import express like we have seen, which we've done. Then an instance of that express application is created. That's how we create instance. Sometimes we bit new, but for express, if you want to create an instance, you just call it as a function. And stored in a variable called app. Then finally, the port to be used is in application is actually defined into a variable called port. Some people use variables, some people don't. Then let's start app.use. Let's start to add some codes to it. App.use. We are going to use the express JSON so we can actually transfer data through JSON. So first we add express JSON. 1 minute, let me quickly. So before we listen, we have to use app.use. What are we using? We are using express.json because this will help us to send files and data through JSON. Right, quickly, let's also add that. Aside that also, to add some sample student data, we have to create a sample student data, more like a fake student data that we'll be using for the now. Maybe later we can implement database, which is when we'll be going to node what is it called? MongoDB. So to add some sample student data in the, so let's quickly create a sample student data called students, and the students is an array that has objects of student ID, student name, student age, and student grade. Just like, let's create that array called students. So quickly we are going to create a constant array somewhere, anywhere. Const student, let's create it after app.use.json. Everything will be using, let's create a sample student under here, creating our sample student. sample student. So we call it const students is equal to an array of object. We have ID, which is going to be a number. Initially, first one is 1. Then the second parameter is name, which is actually a string. Initially, we're going to say this is Aisha Raji. And put age, and put 24. Then grade, can put a string, of course, it's going to be A. Then we can put more student by putting comma and using alt and shift and duplicating 2 times. Second ID will be 2, the third ID will be 3. Then the other person is Basit. Basit who? Ishola. Shola. Then yes, immediately app.use. Immediately you do this, write this, immediately write this, then starts adding const students. Benedict user. Share. Sheun like this. SEUN. Sabina. Let's see. 25. Something like this. Let's just leave it like this. Then we'll have to create another constant called, we have to create a constant called the next student ID. So in the case we want to create another student ID, so we'll be adding that dynamically. Const. Is it const, or let's put a let, because const means it's not changeable, it's constant. So in this one we are using let. Let's current or next student ID to be equal to 4. This one. So these are the things we have done. Shift Alt and Alt. Alt. If you press Shift and you press Alt and you start tabbing down to duplicate, right? Hold Shift and Alt and bring your arrow down. Hold and down. No. Hold Shift and Alt, then use your down arrow to click it and duplicate. So that's about that. We've created a sample student. This is just like seeding. This is just like our fake database. Like I said, subsequently we're using MongoDB, which is our database, right? But in our case, we just want to create a local one for reference purpose. So in this database, in this fake database, we will be adding, removing, and all those kind of major CRUD operations, right? So let's go to this. So after that, we've created a seed, a fake database, and we've created, in the case we want to add anyone, we've created that. So there is a way we could also do this. This dot length minus which is would be the so in the code, in the snippet, any array name. So an array named student is created to store sample data for students. Every student represents an object configured in ID, name, age, and create properties. The variable next student ID initializes the value to assign unique IDs to a new student that is created. In this code, this variable is initialized to 4 as the first 3 students are already in the array. To view a details of all students in the same data, append the code. So we want to get all students. That's where we do the get. So let's quickly do the gets. Let's quickly do the get now. Get request to get the single student. So we use the app dot get. So in the case, what is the route we want to point it to? We want to point it to slash students. So any person that makes this request to slash students, let's get requests comma response and perform this operation. What is the operation we want to perform? We just want to say res.json students. So we can just res.json. Res.status. I don't like seeing these errors. I don't know status. I know you are starting, but let's try to put status 200. Then .json. What do you want to send? We want to send the students. Is that clear? Meaning anytime any person makes a request to this route, handle the request this way. How are we handling it? We are just responding with the status code 200 and sending a JSON file, students. Is that clear? What we just did is, anytime any person makes a request to this route slash, for example, localhost 3000 slash students, we should handle the request this way, right? How do we handle the request? We said we should rest the status. We should send the status code to be 200, means it was successful, and JSON dots. They will call the JSON function to send these students as a file. So immediately any person go to any person make this request. Like let's leave this first. Oh, all right. Yes, exactly. So we keep counting. There are 3 people already there. So the next one that will be adding, in case you want to add anyone, we'll have an ID 4. Is that clear? We're good, right? So that's how to get. So you can go to your browser now and check. Go type localhost, and 3000, then slash students. You are expected to get a JSON file of all those students. Sorry, I'm not. Go and type it. You are expected to get something like this. Localhost 3000 slash no students. You're expected to get that. Actually, have you tested? It's working. Okay. So quickly, let's go. Are we good to go? Then so like it's to view details of all the 3 students, we've done that. Then this code is sending requests. Students sends students details in JSON format when the endpoint of the request is students. This is what we call the endpoint. That slash. This is what the endpoint. The end what we call those ones endpoints. So anytime you are making your documentation, all the endpoints for your API are usually recorded, and how to access them are recorded. Understood? So quickly, let's get to the next. To view the details of a specific student with specific ID in the same file, depending on code they're given. So we are going to create this. This is how we do. But in the other case, slash student slash, column ID. This is how we pass. We are going to pass this through the parameters. So request dot. So in const ID is equal to pass int. We are going to get an integer. So passing gets integer. Request dot params dot id. This is a parameter that we are passing id. So const student. Sorry. Thank you. So first, let's create a get request for a single student with an ID. We are using ID. So we are still going to use app.get, right? Because we are fetching, right? So that's why we're using app.get. What are we getting? We're getting slash students, then slash calling ID. So what should we do? We should handle it like this, comma, taking requests and response. I'm passing these parameters. The first thing is to get the ID that we want. So we make const ID is equal to parse int. Want to get, moreover, anything that is actually gotten from a URL is usually regarded as a string. So we have to convert it to an integer. That's where we use the parse int, which is an inbuilt function in JavaScript to convert a string that looks numeric to a number, right? An integer to be specific. And it's params, or request.params, sorry. Requests.params, because there is a request, there is a parameter called id that we're going to search .id. So how do we handle it? That's how we fetch this ID. Now, how do we use this ID to actually get a student? So a student, so we use the find. This is JavaScript function to find an array. So it says students, that is that array that was find. Then we return each student, the ID must be the same as the ID. This ID, student.id must be the same as ID. And if there is a student, we rent that else with status.404. So quickly, How do we find it? So first, we get the students that we want to find, not without s. This is student. It's equal to students. That is the students dot find. Find is actually a function, an inbuilt function in JavaScript for you to find an object in an array. So s, we are finding a student where s dot id is the same in both value and strict equality as the id that was fetched above. So in the case, sometimes we might find the student, sometimes we might not find the students. So we want to check if there is a student that have the ID that we set from. So we say if there is a student, what should we do? We should res dot status to be 200. That means we found that student is success. Then dot JSON will sell that student, the students that we found, not students. Remember, be mindful of the s. There are some, this one have s, this one don't have s, this one don't have s. This one is the one that we are looking for, right? But in the case there is none else, so in case we don't find any students, what should we do? We should just send a response res.status and say it's actually 404, meaning that person does not exist. Then we send a JSON that has a JSON entry z. Then the JSON of an object having sources. This is the best practice. Is false, means there is nothing found there, comma, sources is false, message and messages, no student with such ID. So this is how to get a single student. We're good, right? We're good. Yeah. Wow, you've not done this. Okay. Should I come down now? Let's see this one again now. Which kind of light go without warning like this? Hmm? Yeah? No, now we use it this morning. Now, let me go and ask what is happening.